And again, I'm talking 8 and 9 figure contracts. So we're not talking a little bit here. It's big. And they know the value of story.
In the high-stakes world of global consulting, where multi-million-dollar deals are won or lost in a single meeting, how can we find that extra competitive edge? It's not through facts and figures, it's something far more powerful.
Last week, I made a video about storytelling for sales. And, I've had some questions about what really happens. Let me tell you a story about one of the clients that we work with. Now, this is a large global consulting company, and they have a sales force who, of course, are out selling, and they sell everything from software transformations to business strategies. When we work with this particular client, what we do, we get brought in. Usually, you get a week to turn around a pitch, and so they pick up the phone, they call us and bring us in. Why? Well, because they've got salespeople, but they also have subject matter experts who now all need to be on the same page. And, we're not talking small projects here. Like, these are projects that are 8 and 9 figures in value. They're huge. So there's a lot on the line, and these companies are all competing against each other. There's not a lot of difference between them. Think about global consulting, like we've got the big 5, right? And so they're all up for these same gigs. And what's gonna make a company choose company A versus company B? You can tell a case study, problem, solution, outcome, all very interesting, or you can tell it as a story. And when you tell it as a story, what it feels like is that the client is living that story along with you. They get a sense of how you choose to solve problems, how you move through the process, who's involved. Storytelling is powerful because in that moment, what the prospective client is hearing is how the team worked together, how they thought about solving a problem, how long it took them to get there, what they needed to do, who else they needed to bring in. It's not just problem, solution, and outcome. We're feeling the fear, the frustration, the excitement even of how they were gonna problem solve. We're in it with them. It's actually giving us a window into their world. What's happening is the prospective client is getting to know the individuals. That person is really good under pressure. That person is the person who knows how to find solutions that no one else can find. That person is really the knowledgeable one. They're the one that brings in the really cool tech that no one else even knows exists. Now, that might be choreographed, but to the listener, it feels very organic, and that is powerful. When we work with that particular client, when we're brought in, we increase their sales rate to about 50%. And again, I'm talking 8 and 9 figure contracts. So we're not talking a little bit here. It's big, and they know the value of story. Now, we do this with many other clients as well. Sometimes it's with salespeople themselves, and we train them on how to use their body, use their face, use their voice, and use their words to convey the story. A story is not just the words of, the other day this thing happened. It is a full body experience. So how are you as a salesperson sitting forward, leaning forward, telling a story that is engaging that listener, engaging them in a way that they feel it's authentic? You're not just telling somebody else's story of how a problem was solved. You're telling a story that you believe in, that you're passionate about, and I can hear how it was solved because the story you tell me is part of the solution. And so your voice, your face, all of it plays in. So when we're working with salespeople, we're training them on all of those things. We're also training them not just on their own body language, but on the body language of those in the room. So if you're able to see the people that you're speaking with, assuming you're not on a one-way video, assuming you're either on a video where you can see all the other participants or you're in a room doing a pitch, now we're looking at the body language of those who are receiving that pitch. What are we looking for? We're looking for signs of interest. Are they leaning in a little? Are they trying to hear a little more? Are they using their hands? Are they touching their face? These are signs of interest. Or are they looking down? Are they fidgeting? Are they looking away and perhaps in some way they have a very serious look on their face? Now this might be disinterest, but this also could be that they're contemplating, they're thinking. If I'm doing this, you might think I'm tuned out. But really what I might be doing is integrating the story you're telling me. And I'm about ready to ask a question because it triggered a memory for me. It triggered a memory that had me thinking for a second about something that happened. And now I'm engaged in your story in a new way because I can see how it would impact me. As a salesperson, having some of this knowledge is really helpful because you'll know where your client or your prospective client is going with the conversation. If they're completely tuned out, how do you get them back in? Well, one of the most powerful ways of bringing an audience back is to pause. When you pause, you just did it. You looked up. What did I miss? What happened? Is that over? So when we pause in that moment, the entire room comes back to us. And when you hold that pause, and when you end that pause with something very powerful, you've got your audience right back. So the power of story in sales is incredible. And knowing how to use your voice, your body, your face, and your words to tell those stories are all part of it. So whether you work for a global consulting firm, whether you are a CEO of a scaling company, or perhaps you run the sales organization for a large multinational company, I encourage you, use story. Learn how to incorporate story into the work you're doing. Choose to share the stories of your experience in a way that is engaging those prospective clients. Because storytelling in sales is probably the most powerful tool you will have. And in reality, our client, that global consulting firm, they know because we're their secret weapon. But you know what? I'm letting that cat out of the bag because we do work with lots of other organizations. And if you're interested, we'd love to chat with you. So you go ahead and click on the link below to find out a little bit more about who we are and what we do. And if you like this video, make sure that you like it and subscribe to our channel. We do a lot of work, not only in storytelling, but in so many other aspects of story, public speaking, thought leadership, and building your personal brand so that others remember you and want to work with you.